The news headlines shout at us. The television screens flicker with images of trouble. It feels like the world is groaning under a heavy weight, doesn't it? We see reports of fierce storms stronger than any we remember washing away homes, leaving behind a trail of sorrow. We hear the distant drums of war stories of families torn apart by conflict, their lives upended in an instant. The earth itself seems to tremble with quakes that shake the very ground we stand on, reminding us just how fragile our sense of security truly is. These are not just stories from faraway lands. They feel close, personal, and they leave a chill in the air. This constant stream of chaos can feel like a relentless storm battering against the windows of our hearts. One moment, we are reading about economic uncertainty, how the cost of simply living is becoming a mountain too high for many to climb. The next, our feeds are filled with images of social unrest, of communities divided, and angry voices clashing in the streets. It's a lot to carry. The weight of it all presses down on our shoulders. We see the faces of people whose lives have been turned upside down, and we can't help but wonder, could that be me next? Could that be my family? Could that be my home? Could that be my peace? This constant exposure to turmoil does something to the soul. It plants a seed of fear that can grow into a tangled vine of anxiety. We start to feel a sense of helplessness, as if we are adrift on a vast, churning ocean with no land in sight. The problems seem so big, so complex, and our own power to change them feels so incredibly small. We might pour our energy into our work, hoping that success and achievement will build a fortress strong enough to keep the chaos out. We chase after financial security, believing that if we can just save enough, we can insulate ourselves from the world's troubles. We might even try to numb the anxiety, losing ourselves in entertainment or endless distractions, anything to quiet the noise for just a little while. These are not bad things in themselves, but we soon discover their limitations. They are like sandbags stacked against a rising flood. They can hold for a time, but they cannot stop the ocean. This is the point where the human heart, tired of the temporary, begins to look upward. We begin to wonder about the things we cannot see. We start to consider the possibility of a power greater than our own, a wisdom deeper than our own understanding, a love more constant than the shifting sands of human effort. This is where faith enters the conversation, not as a last resort, but as the ultimate destination we were searching for all along. Turning to God does not mean the storm will instantly disappear. The winds may still howl, the waves may still crash against our boat, but something profound changes within us. When we place our trust in a loving and just God, we are given an anchor. This anchor is not made of iron or steel, it is forged from faith. It doesn't hold our boat in one place, it holds our hearts steady in the tossing sea. We find a new perspective. We begin to see the chaos not as the final word, but as a temporary chapter in a much larger, more beautiful story God is writing. Faith gives us the courage to face the unknown because we are no longer facing it alone. The knowledge that a sovereign God is in control, even when everything feels out of control, is a source of incredible comfort. We can release our white-knuckled grip on the steering wheel of our lives. We can hand over our anxieties, we can hand over our fears for the future. We can hand over our worries about the world to the one who is capable of carrying them. He invites us to do just that. He says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." As we hold on to this hope, our focus begins to shift from the size of our problems to the greatness of our God. We are reminded that the chaos we see today is not the end of the story. God is a God of justice, and He promises a day when all wrongs will be made right, a day when every tear will be wiped away, a day when war, sorrow, pain will be no more. This is not wishful thinking. It is the firm and certain promise of a God who has proven Himself faithful. This hope for the future gives us the strength to endure the troubles of the present. This promise of justice and restoration becomes a light for our path. It allows us to look at brokenness not with despair, but with a holy patience. We can grieve what is wrong. We can work for what is right without the crushing burden of believing it all depends on us. We are partners with a God already at work, redeeming and restoring all things. His love is the ultimate force in the universe, more powerful than any army, more enduring than any storm, and more certain than any political or economic trend. And on that rock, we can stand firm, filled with a peace that the world cannot give, and a hope that will never disappoint.